Welcome back guys, it's Colin with the Sun Pirates TCG, bringing a very special leader, which is Jinbe, an original Sun Pirate. So this leader is not very good, as I've said in my previous tier list videos, but today we'll try to see if we can make this leader at least somewhat workable in the current environment. With the leader ability in consideration, I built this pretty much as a Fishman tribal deck. We're just trying to get some early tempo between the Arlongs and the Jinbes, and then eventually just slam Hody Jones as our finisher, so pretty straightforward. Going into the card by card, we have 4 Camis as our searcher of choice, 4 Vanderdecken, this guy is a great removal spell in the archetype, 2 Dawn to destroy any rested characters, just super strong. Then we have 4 Arlong from EB2, this guy's pretty interesting since he can prevent a character from both attacking and blocking. We also have the other 4-drop Arlong from OP-6, which is just a generically solid body in the archetype that also provides tempo. For 2Ks, we don't have many options for Fishmen, so we're playing the promo Jinbe from the event pack, plus Hachan, who's literally just here for his Fishman typing. Then we have 2 copies of Law from OP-1. I got this idea from a local player that mains Hody Jones leader, funny enough. It has some cool applications with reusing some of these on-plays like Cami searching an extra card, Arlong being able to stun an additional character, or especially Vanderdecken being able to destroy another rested character, right? On top of the fact that he's just a generically decent blocker body. Then moving on, we have 4 copies of the 6-drop Jinbe. This guy's really strong from OP-11. Just on play rest any 5-drop and then having character rush, but also providing character rush to the rest of your fishmen later on is just very efficient. Then we have a couple copies of Fisher Tiger. This one's pretty cool because he can rest any character, so that combos very nicely with our Vanderdecken. On top of the fact that he has this cool replacement ability on KO to tag out into like another 4-drop like Arlong, or Arlong. And speaking of which, we have 4 of the 7-drop Arlong. It's just a 4-cost 7k, effectively. The requirement is pretty easy to get, and it also combos very nicely with our Jinbe after we played it. And then for the last of the Fishmen, we have 4 copies of Hody Jones. Obviously, this guy's just crazy, he's a staple in green right now. And then to top it off, we also have 2 copies of Law Beppo just as a generically strong boss monster, and even tapping out on 10 Dawn, we still have Jinbe's leader ability to untap one so we can use one of our counter events. Speaking of which, we have a couple copies of the 0 cost, whoever wins this war becomes justice, 2 copies of Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. Unfortunately, this one is Fishman Island and not just Fishman type, so we cannot search this off a Cami nor pitch it to Vanderdecken, but it's just a generically decent counter event with being able to give us plus 3000 power, but also the late game ability to rest 2 Dawn to rest any 5-drop just comes up for like getting a blocker out of the way when we're trying to go for lethal. And then the last of our counter events is Vagabond Drill, which is really strong, and it is a Fishman type card. It's a counter event that can be plus 3000 power to both our Fishman leader and our characters, which is relevant. Plus, it also, on play, rests a 3-drop or lower character, so very similar to Punk Gibson, but it's only half the cost, which is really strong. But yeah, that's the list, guys. Let me know what you think. Before we get into the gameplay, as always, remember to subscribe, and let me know what leaders we should be trying next. But at any rate, let's get right into it. Alright, we're going second versus green purple Luffy, so let's see if this works. This opening hand isn't stellar, if I'm to be completely honest here. We do have the Hody, though, so that's definitely a good card. Okay, so they start off with a Nami into Gum Gum Giant. We draw Vagabond Drill, which doesn't really do much at the moment. We'll just pass here. Okay, so opponent brings out the Going Merry. Then they go 5 at lead. I'm gonna go ahead and take this because we really have nothing much going on. Another Arlong, okay. And then we draw Jinbe. Jinbe's good for next turn, potentially. I think I'll bring out the Arlong as a body, just to have it out. We'll prevent the Nami from resting just in case, you know, they might have a 5k swing out of it. And then I'll go 6 at lead. I cannot use Jinbe this turn because I have too many cards in hand, so I'm opting to hold up 1 for the Vagabond Drill. And we'll pass. So yeah, holding up 1 for the Vagabond Drill just in case they play out like a Frankie or Zorojiro after they use their Sanji Pudding. Okay, so they're just going in for 9. I think we can just take again. Ooh, and another Jinbe. Okay, we can kind of build up here. So what I'm thinking to do is to bring out Jinbe. Unfortunately, we cannot rest the Sanji Pudding because of the cost buff, but we can rest the Nami. And then I can just go 5k over the Nami. And then nothing else for us to swing at, so we'll just pass from here. Second Sanji Pudding, okay. Okay, so they cost buff the new Sanji Pudding, I believe. Ooh, and they bring out another Going Merry, cost buff the other Sanji Pudding, okay. Thankfully, we do have the Vanderdecken as a response. Okay, so they go in for 7. Let's go ahead and 2k, 1k like this. And then we'll take the other 7 since we cannot counter. Ooh, another Vanderdecken, that's pretty good. And a chopper, okay. Okay, so let's see how we want to do this. Okay guys, so here's the plan. I'm going to play Jinbe, and on play we're going to rest the chopper. And then we're going to give this Jinbe character rush. And then here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put 8 into 7 to kind of bait out some counter on my opponent since they're a little bit low on resources. Okay, so we got a new Sohachi out of them. Then I'm going to poke 8 into 7 again, see if we get another 2k. And we got it for free. Okay, nice. And then I can poke 6 at leader. They take, okay. And then I still have 2 many in hand for Jinbe ability, but I still pass with 1 down open, so I can hold up Vagabond Drill to rest the chopper again. And with this chopper being on board, it actually becomes a liability for our opponent since this is not a Straw Hat crew, funny enough. Okay, so they bring out yet another Sanji Pudding. They swing 5 at us. We'll counter with one of the Vanderdeckens. Then for the 7, we get to punish them with the Vagabond Drill. So we buff our leader, rest their chopper again. So we just keep locking them out of their leader ability. Ooh, and they Luna our board. Okay. A little bit annoying, but there's definitely some things and some stuff we can do here, that's for sure. At the moment, I'm kind of thinking to not Hody Jones just yet. I think we want to save that for the kill turn. I can probably take the Sanji Pudding in combat, and then I'm thinking to play Arlong to stun their leader so that minuses another swing out of them. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Arlong, use card action. We will pitch the Vanderdecken to prevent Luffy leader from attacking. And then the cool thing here is that we can use Jinbe to give this one character rush. Let's try 7 at the Sanji Pudding, see what happens here. We get some counter. Then I'll do another 7 at the Sanji Pudding, see if we get it. We get it 2k, okay. And then a little bit of missequencing here, although it didn't really matter based on them giving us like a 2k anyway. But we'll go Arlong, stun up our leader. And then we'll stun the Sanji Pudding, it doesn't super matter. I should have played this first, I forgot about the rest of Dawn, but it didn't matter since they guarded with a 2k anyway. We'll go to end phase, we will active one of our Jinbeis, and then active a Dawn. So that way we can hold up Vagabond Drill yet again. So the cool thing here is that we are preventing 2 swings here between the leader and one of the Sanji Puddings. And then for the 7k swing from the Sanji Pudding, we can go Vagabond Drill again, buff and rest their chopper. Okay, and they're going Gear 2nd Luffy, but it's definitely less good here since we're still at 2 health, and they have no more swings between these guys, so... Okay. Okay, and they just want to do a 10 into our Jinbe. We have to let it go. Okay, and suddenly we're in a pretty commanding position. To my surprise. Let's see how we want to do this. I could attempt for lethal here, funny enough. Let's start with a 6 set lead, see what they do. They take, alright. Then let's do a 5 elite. I probably should have done this the other way around. I kind of forgot they were a 5k leader. They give a 2k, alright. We'll do another 5 elite, see what happens. Okay, and then at this point, I think I can go for it. We're gonna go Hody Jones, then we'll go 5 at lead, and then 9 at lead. Yo, and we got there! The back-to-back Vagabond drills. Oh, nice. Alright, so we're going second versus Blackbeard, and honestly, our opening hand's pretty good. We have double Searcher. They do start off with their own stage though, so that's pretty good for them. Okay, so they're starting off by finding a Van Augur off their stage. And they pass to us with no leader ability. Okay, so that's pretty good for us. So we can go double search here. We can go Cammy. Let's get a 2k Jinbe, since Fisher Tiger's probably not going to work here. And then we will go another Cammy. And then this time, there's the honest thought to just like jam a bunch of Hody Joneses at their throat. I think that's what I'm gonna do. we're just gonna keep spamming Hody Jones. That's the game plan here. Okay, so opponent is cycling away a black hole. They find the 2k stronger. Okay, then this is my era, and that found them another stronger, and then they follow up with a caribou. Okay, so this card's so good for Blackbeard. It's just a 1 cost blocker with 2k counter. I'll go ahead and take here. I think I can afford to take. Ooh, Vagabond Drill. So the only issue is I'm not sure if they're actually going to black hole me here. I'm gonna say no trigger. I could have used it to rest a caribou, but I wasn't sure if they were going to black hole rest my Jinbe. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's go swing 5 at lead. And then I'm gonna put 3 Dawn on one of my Camis and we'll go another 5 at lead. Okay, and they counter for 1. We'll just pass. We have no leader ability because we have too many cards in hand. I am holding up 1 for the Vagabond Drill though to punish them for not using Caribou here. Okay, so they stage pitching 10 drop Teach, they find 5 drop Kuzan, okay. And then they go 5 at the Cami. I'm still going to Vagabond Drill and rest the Caribou. And then I think I actually want to counter to protect the Cami. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go 2k back into the Caribou and then 2 5ks elite. Ooh, never mind. That one's pretty good too. I think I still wait on this though. Like I said before, we'll go 2 into the Caribou. And then we can go 6 at lead. This is going to be one of those kind of games here. And then we'll go 7 at lead. We're just going to get really aggressive. Because, again, our Hody Joneses can just come out of nowhere. If I need to control the board after they Van Augur, then I can use Jinbe instead. Okay, so they dock Q, take away one of our Camis. They go Kuzan, okay. Kuzan tags out into a Burgess. And then they go stage, find the 10 drop, alright. And then go 5 into our other Cami. We'll just let this one go now. And then for the 6 at lead, I think I want to stay healthy, so I'll just give a 2k here. And then let's see if our opponent tries to... They do silence us, okay. So here, I know their last card is the 10 drop Blackbeard. And they cannot cast it next turn because they only have 9 Dawn. So what I can do here is I can go 5 at lead because this is a free hit. And then I can go Jinbe, give it Character Rush, and then I'll still go after the Van Augur. Even though on board they cannot kill my Jinbe, this is just in case they like find a black hole or something. And then I'll just pass. We'll restand our Jinbe and our Dawn. Okay, so they stage, they find the 7-drop Teach this time. So thankfully we killed the Van Augur before, so they can't use that to kill our Jinbe. And then the 7 at lead, I might as well Elephant Gatling this, just to be efficient. Also to keep my hand size a little bit low, so I can keep using leader ability. But then, we'll definitely take the 9k though. And the 4th Hody, okay. But at any rate, we know, I think their hand is double Blackbeard, or it might be one. Actually, I think it's only one, because there's one right here. Let's see if we can do lethal. Let's go 7 at lead. They take, okay. Now let's try 8 at lead. Okay, and normally Blackbeard doesn't have the counter for this, so we'll bring out Hody. Funny thing is that since we have no one plays, it doesn't pull a life. And we'll go in for 9. And we got there, an opponent screaming Hody Jones in the chat. Alright, nice. Alright, now for the real challenge. Can we beat blue-purple Luffy with this kind of archetype? I think we have to mulligan this. We are going second here. And we have no turn 1 play. They go 6 at lead. I think I'll just go ahead and counter this, just to stay a little bit healthy. Also to keep my hand size a bit low, to keep using leader ability. They do ramp with gear second. Here, I think we just go 9 at lead. Then we'll pass, restand nothing. Okay, and they do God Threat to ramp again, so opponent's pretty much off to the races. They go in for 8, we have to take here. 5-drop loss, interesting. That could be good down the line, honestly. I'm just going to establish the Jinbe. Okay, and then our opponent does go to 9 Dawn, so let's see what big boss monster they have here. Okay, instead of playing a boss monster, our Jinbe gets Red Rock, so not the end of the world since we have other good cards to play out from our hand. Another AK at lead, I think we just have to keep taking here. Kami's not bad. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Let's start with Kami, see what we get. I definitely want the Hody Jones, and then we can go 8 at lead. They take, alright. And then we get to play Arlong since they have a bunch of rested cards, which includes their Dawn. And the good thing about Arlong is that because it's a 7-drop technically, it does not get hit by Big Mom. Okay, so opponent leader abilities, they find gear second. And then with the 6k swing, we'll go ahead and 2k out of that one. And they bring out a Katakuri, alright. Let's start with an 8 at lead and see how our opponent responds. Okay, so that takes a giant out of them. And then I think I want to do another 8 at lead. I'm gonna see if I can bait them into blocking with the Katakuri, then I can Jinbe swing into it. Okay, they do. And then we'll go Jinbe, rest nothing. Then we'll give it Rush. And we'll go 8 at the Katakuri to potentially force another card out of them. And they give the Nami, nice, okay. So we'll just pass here. Our opponent found Uso Hachi off of their leader ability. They go 6 at us. I will 2k out of that one. And then they go 8 at our Arlong. I think I need to keep this guy alive. So I think here let's go and 0 costs. We'll pitch. Tough choice here. I think we'll pitch the Law. Yeah. We'll pitch the Law to keep it alive. Okay, and now they go Big Mom. And they stuff our Jinbe into life, which is annoying. Let's see, how do we want to respond here? Let's go 7 with the Arlong. I'm going to see if I can bait them into blocking with the Katakuri again. Okay, so instead they're going to Giant. And I think regardless, the thing that sucks is that the Law Beppo does not give my leader power because they need 2 or more rested characters in play. So I'll still do this. We'll stun the Big Mom, I suppose. And then end of turn, we will restand our Arlong and our Dawn. Katakuri is extremely strong against Law Beppo, considering we can't, like, we can't rest their stuff for long. So on the 6k swing, I'll go ahead and Vagabond Drill this just to be efficient, because I'm not sure when I'm going to have the opportunity again to use it. We find another Jinbe off the swing. Okay, and they go Nami to draw some cards. Thankfully it's not another boss monster, so we can maybe stay in the race here. Plus Dofi, okay. Okay, and they have a whole board active again. Let's start with the 7k at lead again. See if we can cause the Katakuri to block. Ooh, and we do get the Katakuri to block. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, so next, let's go Law Beppo. And I think here I want to stun the Nami. And then we get to go 7k at lead. And then we'll go 11k at lead, which gets a block. And then we'll go to our end phase. We will restand Arlong and a Dawn. And then we'll pass like that. And then hopefully we can try to do some kind of Hoodie Jones setup to go for lethal if our opponent gets a little bit too greedy. So they start with a 9 at face. We'll take that for sure. Oh, and now the Vanderdecken shows up. A little bit late. We'll take that hit as well. Then they go Katakuri, alright. Okay, I think my back's to the wall at this point. I don't really have much counter to work with, and they have multiple Katakuris and Big Moms to go after me, so unfortunately they still have multiple Dawn and multiple Katas, so what's the best course of action here? I still think it's to rest the 2 Katas, like so, and then we just gotta we just gotta see if this works. So we'll go 6 at lead. We'll just go low to high. So we get a 1k. We'll go 8 at lead. See what that gets us. Okay, well now I need every swing to connect. I think I need to play around gear second. So we'll go 9 at lead. They take, alright. We'll go 11 at lead. Alright, and do you have an opponent? And they have another giant. Very nice. Plus 2k. Alright, and I think that's pretty much all she wrote. But I'll let my opponent do the honors here. They go 9 at us. We only have 3k counter. And that'll be GG. Man, that was tough. Alright, and moving into the wrap up, honestly, this leader wasn't quite as bad as I was expecting. A lot of these cards like Arlong, Jinbe, and Vagabond Drill especially line up pretty well against the aggro decks right now, and Hoodie Jones was always a crazy card in green, so making it searchable off of the Kami is just icing on the cake, right? Now, I will say the slower, more controlling decks are pretty hard to deal with, as you saw with that blue-purple Luffy game. I also feel like this pure Fishman build can have some consistency issues, and if you stumble on your curve, it's pretty easy to fall behind in my opinion. But definitely let me know in the comments if you have any other suggestions for this leader. Maybe there's something we can use out of the Fishman Island side of things in OP-11 with the Shirahoshi Searcher, but I have yet to figure it out. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.